Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are now in the grand final of the Oversell tournament, Bronx to Top 500 from the 31st of August, the last day of summer, between Fourth Dimension and Voxney Healy. I am Alenvil, and with me is the VK. Welcome back.
Yo, hi again. Yeah, and before anyone asks, this Vox Nearly is the other Vox Nearly, the European branch of their team. So yeah, we're actually seeing a different game here, and the first map is going to be Havana, one of the newer additions to the map roster. So how do you feel about Havana, Alan?
I feel it's kind of an interesting map in itself, but it just doesn't. It shows a bit of a hybrid situation, but sometimes. But I feel like it has a bit too much of places around it. It feels like they wanted to play too much with the high ground and with the houses. It feels a bit overloaded for my taste, honestly.
Might be a great map for dive composition though.
Yeah, that is true. That is actually true that you can do, and Widow should have a nice time at the start as well because you can get a good view down from the top, but otherwise, as I said, I feel like it feels a bit too overloaded that they wanted to put too much in there to give too much comms a chance to really move around with this map.
Yeah, but imagine playing different comps in 2019.
Yeah, true. But yeah, let's see if the EU branch can actually defeat the Fourth Dimension, or if Fourth Dimension can go on the clean sweep against the Voxney Healy teams.
We should see a really good fight here, because both teams are in grand finals for a reason, and neither will just lay down and give up.
Yeah, definitely. That would be actually kind of sad if one team just lays down and die. I would not want to see that. But the boulder, that was quite an interesting throw, actually. Unfortunately, it didn't land where I think they wanted to be. The Maywall goes up to Sigma. The Sigma right now there, and KZ was quite far forward. He did survive quite nicely, actually, and they're just pushing forward. And right now, there doesn't seem like there's really an answer to how the payload's moving. But that was a good halt there. Nobody's really getting advantage. The ice walls are quite nicely, but NKZ is kind of a bit aggressive for my taste right now. And there goes the immortality field. Not much of a victor, but Zardu gets the first pick on Skybar there, and this could be actually the opening they want to have. And we see a bit of a flank coming out. The immortality field's popped as well there on the side of them, and another pick there, and the point is just moving forward, and this is a one fight for them.
Well, the Widowmaker pick probably wasn't the best right here, because we've been seeing a lot of double shield compositions so far. Teams utilizing Sigma plus Orisa, and I'm not sure what Sycamore expected when picking Widowmaker.
Yeah, felt like they wanted to have some vision, but it didn't really help them out in that case. And now the fight is quite close. Zardu gets the pick off there. You do pop the Matrix, actually, the Advanced Matrix, and you just see them pushing them down, and this is a really greatly won fight for them there.
Indeed, it feels like Fourth Dimension don't quite have enough shield damage here. And I have lethal on hand, so just decimates their own shields, and that's why they win fights. That's why they're able to actually make those picks when Fourth Dimension aren't.
That was a kind of 200 IQ play for the ult there, the Dragon Strike, but it didn't really work out. The Blizzard gets a lot of victims there, but they can't really take advantage of that one. The wall was kind of a weird situation that they walled themselves out of that one instead of taking the picks out of the Blizzard. And right now, it looks like there's finally an answer. The Blizzard is being thrown out now for the side of Fourth Dimension, and they do get a few victims here. They do get one. The Gravity Field goes up there. They throw them up, throw them down, and this looks like another one fight for Voxney Healy EU.
Indeed, but they put so much ultimate into it. They put everything they had, starting with the Dragon Strike, which is nearly refilled again there, and finishing with the Graviton Field. So it was expensive, but I'd say it was justifiably expensive because it allowed them to actually get the second point. That's what matters here.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to pay a certain price to just win fights, and we see that right now the supercharge is being thrown out for fourth dimension. They get the first pick off there, and they just throw their gravity field. They get the second one on NKZ, and Nat goes down as well. And this is just a 1-5 for fourth dimension. They finally find their footing in this fight.
Well, was too hard when you use your ultimates and the enemy doesn't use his ultimates. So the next fight should probably go the way of Voxnili EU.
I have Lethal gets the first pick off there. This could be a good start there. The Sound Bear is being popped there, so they do want to go further with this fight. They've thrown Blizzard onto the point. There is a bit of a damage. Skymore, Skymore just saying, no, we want to win this fight with any price.
4,
and,
five.
Five.
5 kills for him. Nice. Single-handedly overturned everything Voxnili EU had. So now both teams are without their ultimates. Both had to use everything they had. And, in the end, actually, it's a win situation for...
Well, right now, yeah, it's kind of a good fight. The Coalescence going out. The Blizzard is now being thrown onto the point. This could be their chance. They do get a good freeze off there. Can the Halt actually... Oh, it barely survives with that ult. Otherwise, that would have been a death. And gets stunned out. This fight is still going kind of in the favor. But right now, I have Letha gets a good Dragon Strike through. And that is finally for Voxnili EU a chance to claim the point push again.
Yeah, so what I was saying was a win situation for Voxnili there, because both teams had to regroup, but Voxnili EU had the virtue of regrouping on payload. So you regroup, payload rolls, you win.
Yeah, and now we're close to ending the map side already, and right now we have the Supercharger being popped down for Voxnili, and they're just moving forward, and not really much is going on. I have Letha does get a pick off there, and this could actually be an interesting point how they were cutting them out. The Widow has free range. He even gets the Supercharger now, pulls out the machine gun, and they take another kill there. And now they're just showing off with their kills right now, just taking one by one, and the payloads going towards the point. Oh, even the Matrix on the payload, so it moves with them, so you can't really stop it. The bullet goes out. There is a victim. There's somebody on the point, but nobody can stop it. And 226 for Voxnili on the time bank.
Nice push there from Voxnili. The fourth dimension guys probably didn't expect that Widowmaker to appear out of the blue, and that's why she was able to get those picks.
Yeah, that
if you know there's a Widowmaker in the enemy team, you naturally just hide behind the shields, and there are a lot of shields in both teams.
Yeah, and that was unfortunately what caught them off, and I have Lethal had instantly 2 picks, and that was just kind of what during that fight. And right now it's kind of, it's not really that the tanks or the supports are really shining on both sides. It's more like they're setting the stage for the DPS. For example, Skymore with his 5-man kill spree with the Death Blossom, and now I have Lethal with that swap that just caught them out quite nicely. Right now it's getting interesting, and Skymore is going on a pick we haven't seen yet from him in this tournament.
Yeah, we should just show this replay to people who say that 2-2-2 lock is bad and Ghost should be back. The DPS actually get to play DPS and get to be the heroes of the day, like they should.
Yeah, that's definitely something that is now more appearing thanks to this 2-2-2 lock. But honestly, the supports get to show their time as well. I say for tanks and supports, most of the time, if you don't really talk about them, they're doing a good job.
Yeah, well, if the team is alive long enough, then tanks and supports are doing a good job. If it takes a lot of effort, a heroic effort for the DPS to do something, then the tanks and the supports are doing the heroic effort already.
Definitely, that is what a lot of people kind of forget. The Mei is in kind of predicament right now, surrounded by the enemy team, does put the wall up, but unfortunately still loses the life, and now the Mortality Field is trying to hold up what they can. Symmetra is even now on the field for Skymar. Skymar has switched over to the Symmetra. They do get a pick off on NKZ, and it looks like Fourth Dimension are just playing sort of 4D chess right now with Vox Nihili.
Yeah, they're just pushing the payload forward and forward. It's kind of a mirror situation that we had. So Vox Nihili were able to push their payload with the same ease, at least for the first point.
Yeah,
Look at, I have Lethal switching for Doomfist here.
that could get actually kind of interesting. May is being thrown quite far away, to be honest, by that all. The Immortality has been thrown down, it's taken out already. Doomfist is now in the fight and gets instantly blown up by the Symmetra. Perhaps that is the counter that people see for Doomfist right now. The Symmetra just holding in the laser, and this is just doing so much damage against them. I'm not sure how they really want to spend that. The shields aren't getting real positioned, and just one by one we're losing players of Vox Nihili EU.
Well, someone has to counter Doomfist, right?
Yeah.
Can't be just that OP, though he's already OP in my book. But whoa, Booster in a bad position.
Oh, two even. Whoa, that is rough. That is not how you want to start the next push on the point. That you lose instantly your Zenyatta and the Mei. I have Lethal goes in, tries to find another one, but unfortunately the Sentry turret says hello.
Yeah, and Vox Nihili unable to capitalize on those two picks because they're too far away. Fourth dimension are already regrouping. They've already regrouped actually.
Yeah, the Symmetra ult, I'm not sure about that placement of it, but right now they're pushing forward, so it's working in their favor right now. The shield play does annoy them a bit. The blizzards are being thrown out on both sides. Let's see, Hota gets the first pick out, XMM gets the second one, and a third one. Fourth and fifth for the team, and that is a team wipe there, and that is how you claim the second point, probably.
Yeah, Fourth Dimension really showing up there. Their Blizzard worked way better than the counterpart on Vox Nihili's side. Look at XHM holding the wall there, hoping that Vox will try to retake the point, but they don't.
Oh, and the supercharger is already gone. That was quite fast, actually. And right now, there is the Matrix that is amplifying every shot they have, and that is just not what you want to really fight into. They waited that through a nice wall there to cut somebody, have a cutoff there. The Mei is just putting down a wall there. Both sides are fighting the amplification. Matrix out on the side of Fourth Dimension. They're pushing forward. They get a pick. And now they're just trying to find more room there. The Ana is in an interesting position, going into the back line. What is she doing there? And she's being taken out.
Well, it was a nice biotic grenade there, but it's not enough to actually win a fight, especially if that grenade is the last thing that happens in the fight.
Yeah.
But she has the nano boost, and this might work pretty well for Vox Nihili there.
If they didn't instantly lose the Orisa, Skymar gets. I have Lethal in the Widow duel. They do have the nano boosted Sigma, who's trying to hold on as good as he can. That shield that he gets there is just helping. Nat takes down Lucer, so there is a hope for that. NKZ does take down 2 with after the nano boost is gone, and that is a hold right now.
And two Widowmakers dueling each other. Have Lethal so far out-dueling Sycamore. And that's not exactly good news for Fourth Dimension there, because if they lose their sniper support, they are in a much worse position than they could have been if that Widowmaker would have been standing watching over them.
Yeah, but Skymore now gets the revenge kill, and this could be actually really good. The Supercharger is being put in a really good position right now to get them up the amplification metric as well. The Immortality field is still up, and that's a good flank actually from Hota there with the Sigma there, but unfortunately they can't do much with that right now. The Graviton field gets thrown up on both sides. Skymar gets a pick off on NKZ. There is the Transcendence being popped out right now. Both sides are pushing. Right now there's a good push right now from Fourth Dimension. Hota is in a particular situation because Frozen even, but still healed up and the Supercharger still reaches. They're moving so far forward and the Mortality field. There is a Doomfist in the back who's trying to find some opening, but unfortunately gets taken down. The payload's moving forward. They're at a similar time right now. Let's see if they can hold up. The Blizzard gets thrown out. NKZ's trying to hold on as good as he can. Gets frozen up. Can they get the point? Once again, the wall is blocking quite nicely. And they barely get a second ahead there.
Wow. Teams are fighting tooth and nail to secure the win in the grand finals.
227 to 226. This is great.
Yeah, the counter also shows 103.35 meters, 10 centimeters more for
Yeah, that is actually weird right now what the display is doing.
for dimension there. So yeah, that's a second and 10 centimeters of difference there.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense since we're going into the next round, actually. Oh.
But still, we're seeing some insane Overwatch here.
Yeah.
Both teams performing really good.
Yeah, both teams showing up what they can do, and nobody's really playing the other. They're just both teams have their moments, and in either way, and both are showing so nicely their play. We've seen a bit more of the supports really having a bit more of a highlight on some locations right now, but the DPS, everybody's showing what they have.
Yeah, the same compositions though. Both teams keep the absolutely same compositions in their rosters.
Yeah, what ain't broke don't fix. Simple as it is. And oh, that ult was nicely put against the wall. Unfortunately, they did get a pick off there. The Symmetra teleporter is in the back. I have Leaflet get the first pick off there. I think that teleporter was kind of a ruin for them. Yes, they lost 2 members with that one, and this should be the advantage that Voxney Healy want to have right now.
Yeah, they're getting that advantage, right? They have more ultimate charge, considerably more on Hanzo, who's probably going to get his first ultimate in the game and draw first blood in terms of ultimates. But will it happen before the first point or after?
I probably think that it would happen after, but it looks like they want to give it another shot. There is a Dragon Strike going through. Doesn't really hit much, hits a bit too much the ground probably, but they did try their best. With that one, the Immortality Field's being thrown up. Stardew doesn't get a pick off. There is a Blizzard being thrown onto the point. Both sides are fighting. XHM is frozen up and Ota as well, and that is the one fight there.
Yeah, look at Flabberjack there, just trying to jump closer to the payload so he freezes up and contests it while he's frozen. They're fighting for every second here.
Flabberjack switched off. He had the amplification matrix ready.
Well, decided that it's not worth it. The Lucio might get much more profit combined compared to the amp matrix, but we see amp matrix coming from Admiral.
Yeah. And it pushes them quite a bit back, and the Graviton field goes up. They do throw up quite a few of them. Nobody really goes down from that one, but I have Leslie gets a pick on Lucer. They do have the Immortality field on the point. Skymar is doing his best as the Reaper, trying to get into that close combat and just fighting it out. The Mei is trying to counteract that quite a bit right now. And right now Skymar goes down, Raptor gets the kill on that one, and the payload is just moving forward. There's another kill there, and right now Vox and Healy are just trying to find the pressure they can, and now we're in overtime. This will be now everything. They can't get any more. Hota gets a kill on NKZ, and this is not what you want to have happen. But the payload's moving forward. They cut them off quite nicely there.
Yeah, but the XHM, 95% of Blizzard. By the time he gets to the payload, he already have the ultimate, and this might be the win condition here for Dimension.
Yeah, there is the Blizzard. They are throwing down even the Supercharger right now. Both sides are throwing everything they can. Loser does hit that one. There's the Blizzard on the point. Twick is in a dangerous position, does throw out the hold, survives that one quite a bit, plays a lot with the shield there. There is the Immortality field. Hota is there as well. They're just trying to fight to keep something up. Hota gets a kill there. Now the Graviton field goes up on both sides, actually. Both sides go into the air, and that is the Sigma C9 there.
Yeah, Graviton field a little too high to contest the payload. Very nice play there. And that's 75 meters off the second point.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's winnable for both teams here.
Yeah, but do we account for the 10 centimeters we still have on the side here?
Yeah, we probably do. We'll just write them in as the handicap.
Yeah, this overlay is great. I love it. Just that it shows us the 10 centimeters more. But we see both teams now setting up. They look like no. There are a few switch ups there. There is XHM on the Pharah this time. On the other side, doesn't really look like much of a switch up. Nat is staying on the Ana. That felt like they were quite good. Skykamore is showing once again if he wants to go with the Sombra, but I'm not too sure. We had that trick once again already.
Well, Flabberjack is on the Mercy, which gives me a hint that Sycamore is going to try the Pharah. Or was it XHM on the Pharah?
They both, I think, switched around Pharah during the matchup already. But nope, they're going with their try to drift. Oh!
Brigitte.
Nope.
No.
That
tease. With Batiste.
Both sides just going with the shield war. Just the simple things. The ice wall in the back. Nice hold there. Unfortunately, the rock was blocked by a shield. Otherwise, that could have been quite devastating already. But there is some ult charge on both sides already starting up, and the shield war is still raging on.
Well, I like how both mates are using their walls as just another form of a shield when both of your tanks shield break. But that's not the way to open up a fight. You can't cut off anyone with this kind of wall.
Yeah, you can, but there is the stun. There is the Amp Matrix already. Isn't that a bit too far forward? The Amp Matrix there for the blue team? It's kind of an interesting position to have it, but we'll see how this one goes right now. They couldn't really take advantage of that one. Probably confused them as much as they did me. Now the red team's Amp Matrix goes through. The wall instantly on that one. That is a nice play from the Mei there. And just moving forward, there's not much that they can really defend right now. Twick is dropping damage, so goes down for that one. So there is a Dragon Strike going in. I believe it does get a pick off there, but unfortunately the rest of the team is just dying off there. And now the Sigma is alone on the point, trying to do his best, but has no chance. Zardu jumps in, tries to gets into the ice block, so there is a bit of time bought there, and that is that. And there is the second point. And now we're going into the final mode. Let's see if they can push through.
Yeah, 75 meters and 50 seconds plus whatever overtime time you can get. Two ultimates for the fourth dimension here. Just taking their name again. Using already one. Alright. Switching that wall for a Reaper. Not sure if that was a good move or not, but okay, I guess.
They're moving in. There's a Doomfist there in as well. Doomfist is already down. XHM takes him down. Now they get two picks off with that gravitation field. Next pick off there. They are closing in the gaps. Only the Baptiste has now survived. And now they have to get onto the point. They do have NKZ's Graviton field to do the Sigma C9 once again. But they're closing in.
Zardu has to open up with the Blizzard to just bait out the Arisa's ability to make her
Graviton field? They are close enough. They are actually close enough. Hota is in the back, not being in the field. Blizzard is out on both sides. Both sides are frozen right now. Nobody is really dying, but right now it looks like Fourth Dimension are winning the fight, get that win, and they take the map. Taking map number 1 in a close fight there.
Yeah, it was so close. Like, they won by a hair. Not much more. Both teams are so even in their skill level, both macro, ult management, stuff like that, and micro moments.
And this is one of those micro moments you're talking about where just Sycamore just pulls off that Death Blossom and just goes ham with that. So we are going to be, after that, we are actually going to Blizzard World. This is going to be fun. I'm hyped for that one.
Well, I don't know if I am. I always found Blizzard World as one of the more boring maps of the roster. But let's see. Those two teams can make it exciting.
Yeah, they can. Honestly, I don't like Blizzard for what it does for the players. I just love the Blizzard World's concept in general as a person who has played a lot of Blizzard games during my time, where you just can enjoy the fun stuff that is all around the map. For example, Murloc Island is one of my favorites to point out almost every time.
Well, yeah, I can agree with you on that. It was like the StarCraft zone, the huge island. Never thought they would be so huge in the real world.
Yeah, definitely. That is always fun. So since we have a slight moment, we are going to see what would you say should Voxney Healy switch up to actually try to beat Fourth Dimension with what was happening in the first map?
Nothing. It worked. What they did worked, and what they probably need is just a tad bit more luck, and that's it. And maybe a little bit more ability management, because if their Arisa had saved her, what do you call it?
Or
The
hold?
ability. Nah,
No,
the
no, not
ability
hold.
when she's immovable.
Yeah,
I
I know
forgot
what you
the
mean.
name of it.
Yeah,
Well,
where
if she'd
she.
saved it for the graviton field, they wouldn't have C9'd, and they would have probably pushed it a little bit further.
Yeah, I'd say that would be one of them, and probably in their defense if they didn't misplace slightly the graviton field, because Hota could stand in the back and actually just keep the payload moving, which was slightly visible actually, that Hota was in the back and just could stay there and the payload
Yeah,
wouldn't have gone off with the fuse.
yeah well, the field probably wouldn't have C9'd them because the overtime was still early, so they had enough time to actually get slammed back onto the ground, back
Yeah.
to contesting the payload. But yeah,
But I gotta be honest, I actually think that Blizzard will, the first point, actually benefits more Fourth Dimension, since they do like to give up the choke to actually start pincer attacks and stuff like that. I'm not sure if that is really what Fox Nihili wants to run into, because we saw what happened with the NA team on King's Road, where they kind of got pushed into a pincer attack as they just went through the choke, and they were like, okay, we got a free reign in this choke, and then Fourth Dimension just closed the door on that one instantly.
yeah, just lure your enemy into a mousetrap, and boom, you've got the map.
Yeah, and honestly, the first point of Blizzard World with Duskwood, with Fargo Deep Mine, with Nexramas gives so much place to actually do these kinds of plays where you round around and just pincer somebody.
Yeah, I think I saw a Fair there on Vox Nihili's side, but doesn't seem to be the issue anymore. Not even a Hammond? Come on, guys! Play something else, please.
Well, I have Lethal switched up.
Yeah. Yeah.
We take what we get. We take what we get. But right,
Symmetrous on both sides here. This might be interesting.
as long as they don't cross the beams, we all know that it's dangerous.
Yeah. No turret set up for Sycamore here, which is even more interesting. Probably waiting for a clear information on where the opposite team is going to push from. Set
Yeah.
turrets there.
A nice positioning that they knew that they saw that they went into Duskwood, and then they instantly positioned up that they took the high ground, and you can see how much advantage that's right now doing for them that they actually took it. They are giving up too much of the point, I feel like, right now. They barely jumped down now, and right now the fight is still going out. I have Lethal take down Hota, and this is not the situation I think you really want to be in. The Immortality field was placed quite nicely, and it's just not much. They're just holding right now onto the point, but the payload's still ticking against them. Nobody's on the point. They're forgetting the point. Now they're back finally got onto the point again. Orisa now the amplification matrix, and they're barely holding onto the point. If right now one person dies, it's done for them. HM goes down, and right now Jerry is the last person who's holding on, and that is it. And that is the claim point for Voxney Healy.
They gave up so much space there. I feel like this was the intended trap. They just sat on the rooftops, but they never accounted for I have lethal actually playing Symmetra and teleporting everyone onto the point while
It looks
continuing
like
the
they
fight.
need a pause right now on Voxney Healy's side. Yeah. Well, okay, we now have the pause. As you said, they gave so much space up. That's kind of unfortunate. I feel like they should have put the Marisa should have gone down earlier for a moment to actually stop the progress of the point, because that was pretty long that the point was uncontested, even though they were all standing on the high ground.
Not just Orisa, they should have jumped down all of them as a unit, because one Orisa jumps down, just gets killed. 4 people on the point there. And the teleporter is still up, so the backup would arrive instantly to take down that Orisa.
Wait, what? Oh. Okay, so right now it's kind of a weird situation right now, but we're waiting now if both teams are ready. Looks like it, or are we? Yeah, looks like both teams are ready, so we're going back into the action. Hopefully everything is resolved and we can see both teams have this fun final we've already been promised with the Havana game.
Yeah, talk about fun. Zero ultimate charge on Sycamore, Lucer, and Flabberjack there. The only ultimate available is Blizzard by XHM. It's not a lot to start with.
And there's the mentioned Blizzard gets a good one off actually for that one, and oh, the cleanup crew with Sycamore comes in, and that is it for that fight.
Yeah, well, you gotta give it to Fourth Dimension there. They executed the fight perfectly with what they had, and now they have a lot more to work with.
Yep, that they do have, and if you have one shot, you have to take that one carefully, and that's exactly what they did with that fight. And right now, there's a bit of a slide skirmish going on, not really much going on. The wall is quite nice. The Mei is in a dangerous situation right now. The Graviton field gets thrown up, thrown up there, but not really much can be done with that one. The Supercharger is getting popped right now. The Coalescence as well, they're doing everything. I have Lethal gets a kill, Nat gets another kill, so this could actually be the chance for Voxney Healy to push quite well. Okay, Z, and this should be one fight for Voxney Healy.
Some nice team coordination there from Voxney Healy. Megan trapped behind the wall, just hides into the ice block. 4 seconds in the ice block, I remind you. And during those 4 seconds, Voxney Healy just breaks the entire enemy wall and frees their Mei and wins the fight.
Okay, Blizzard. Oh, there is the Death Blossom on both sides, and I have Lethal wins that one. Unfortunately, the Supercharge and Coalescence couldn't help Skimmer there win that one. Right now, we see the fight still breaking out. I have Lethal gets another pick. Admiral Raptor stops. Jeru is frozen as well, and this is just another one fight for Voxney Healy.
Yeah, they're doing so good right now. Sycamore just basically wasting the Death Blossom, not taking anyone down. I'm not sure how exactly that happened, because I thought that was a clear kill on at least 2 of them, but still.
Good support work, I would say, to be honest.
Probably. But we're on the 3rd point here already, and it looks like Fourth Dimension are giving up space again. They're not trying to contest at the entrance, they're not trying to contest at the corner, they're just holding the end of the map.
Yeah, and Flabberjack is the next victim in that fight after Jerry was already taken down. And this is not where you want to be. The Coalescence being fired off right now by Voxney Healy. I'm not sure if that's actually the situation, but they do take down Sycamore, so they are keeping their advantage. And I feel like right now it's just a bit of a too passive playstyle from the side of Fourth Dimension.
Absolutely. They're not even trying to contest the payload, to fight over there.
They finally do it. They're pushing in. They get a pick off there on NKZ, and they push Vox and Healy back. They just smartly disconnected as there were 3 ults thrown in there. They didn't want any part of that and just back off.
But they won't be able to hold the payload for long because Vox Nearly there. They have 4 ultimates. Two of those by themselves could turn the fight around.
Graviton Field, there is the Death Blossom as well. The Death Blossom goes kind of to waste, but the Blizzard is on point, and that is just the team kill.
Well, still a little bit of overkill in terms of ultimates used there. Only a Coalescence left for Vox Nearly to work with, and that might not be enough to take the very last meters of the point here.
Yeah, the Supercharger was thrown down. They did get a pick off with the Supercharger, but unfortunately right now they're kind of forcing Vox Nearly into a corner. Nobody's really dying anymore. Death Blossom goes off from Sycamore. Sycamore gets Raptor. Hota takes down Twig. Hota gets another kill, and they're barely holding on with this point. But they had to use everything.
Well, not that they had much in the first place, but at least they're able to hold. And now both teams lack any ultimates to work with. We've got 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock, which means we'll see 1, maybe 2 more fights with the ultimates, like the fights should be done. They won't push. They won't push try.
Sycamore was in a dangerous situation. Now the Blizzard's being thrown out there. The Graviton Field is thrown out as well. And the Blizzard gets the Orisa. They take down the Orisa instantly. That is their chance. The Coalescence has been thrown out. Jeru gets 2 picks off there. They get a 3rd one on the Mei, and Nat just says, okay, this is done fight, and jumps off the cliff there. And now they're at the minute mark, and this looks like now a good chance for 4th Dimension once again.
Why? Why? Vox Nearly committed so much ultimates to that push. They could have tried and echo push just to maybe try and fish some ultimates out of 4th Dimension, but they ended up sacrificing even more than 4th Dimension used.
The Supercharger's down for 4th Dimension. They're going in. The Graviton Field goes up. They throw them up quite nicely. There is 1 pickoff already, another 2, and this the Coalescence, the Moira's just getting the kills there. We're at 20 seconds left, and I'm not sure if they can get another push in right now.
Well, they've already got the Hammond to contest. It's locked out behind the wall, but he'll be able to reach the payload. But
not really much.
Oh my god!
And that is barely Lelouch who hits the points. Instantly. There is IF Lethal with the Death Blossom. They did hit the Blizzard as well. The payload's moving forward, so there is some meters won there for Vox and Healy, but they do lose another victim there. The Coalescence goes out. Lucer did get the kill on IF Lethal. There is a bit of cutoff. There is the Blizzard, and KZ is trapped there. Twig is pushed off the point. Right now they're coming in with a few more, but not much they can really do. Twig is a bit of a predicament, barely holds on, gets pulled back. Coalescence pulled back, and now they stop the point.
Well, still, not a bad performance from Team Vox Nearly there. It was a good push, except for the last meters when they used up more than they should have and didn't have enough resources to actually take the map.
Yeah.
But they are on defense now, and I feel like they feel more comfortable on defense.
They didn't look that They did look more comfortable on defense, but they have to be careful because I feel like right now 4th Dimension has been showing that they actually did a good job most of the time, and they feel very secure with attacking. They show more aggressiveness even on their defense most of the time than just playing normal defense. So I feel like they're a more attacking team.
Indeed, and well, I feel like 4th Dimension here have an ace or 2 up their sleeves. They're not ready to give this up quite yet.
And I'd say, why should they? They won Havana.
Yeah, they certainly have something to show us. And this time, we won't see the same map played twice. It's win or lose here. No draws, no big overtimes.
Interesting sentry position there from I Have Lethal with all around that Fargo Deep Mine entrance.
Yeah, well, they probably are expecting a Symmetra, I would say. But XHM switching back up to May, so those turrets are probably going to act as some kind of a alert system rather than an actual damage source.
Yeah, it could actually work because they are closing around that point. The sentries are getting their action in there, but unfortunately they're instantly blown up, so they didn't do much about that. I Have Lethal has been dropping dangerously low even during this fight, but right now, these turrets could be interesting right now where they're in the corner there. They don't get much damage out. Unfortunately, the turrets aren't doing their work. Hota gets the first pick off there. I Have Lethal answers instantly, so XHM, the mate, is not in the play anymore. The halt pulls them off the point barely, but they still hold on. The Coalesce is being dropped out instantly by Loser right now. We see Sycamore running around them right now, looking for an opening, and they're kind of opening up a pincer once again, and Buxy and Healy aren't really capable of holding that right now. The Pharah is trying to do her best right now to stop any chaos, but the point is being claimed right now.
Well, Pharah actually opens up on the enemy Orisa, and this might open up for a retake here, but not going to happen as Twig goes down as well.
Yeah, but they don't have much that they can really shoot down the Pharah right now with their team composition, and the rest of the team is right now there. There is the Graviton Field with them throwing up, but unfortunately they can't take much out of that one. They did use the Sound Barrier as well there, so they are using everything in their kit right now. And another Sound Barrier has been dropped once again, and looks like this should be the hold right now for Voxney Healy EU.
Well, that's a decent performance from them. Much less sophisticated tactic used by 4th Dimension. Not utilizing any smart-ass portals there, but just pushing it straight to the point. Got them 2/3. Not bad, but considering the time that it took Vox Neely to take that point, you don't want to be 4th Dimension right now.
No, you don't want to be them in that situation. I think in general you do want to be 4th Dimension since they are in the Grand Finals, but you see them running around right now, just throwing down another halt and the wall as well. And just the Rocket Barriers comes in, but instantly taking down. Sycamore did a good job, but I Have Lethal has been answering right now and taking names for them, and they hold once again.
Yeah, Jero trying to suicide to just not feed any more ultimate charge here. Sycamore switching to Reaper as well as Zawardu here. Probably just seeing Pharah is gone. Now Sycamore actually taking a Pharah here. Interesting choice, but this might be what 4th Dimension need here to claim the point and continue the fight.
The Supercharge is being popped for 4th Dimension right now. The Graviton Field's been thrown out as well. And right now the Blizzard is on the field. Zaru is there. Another Graviton Field being thrown out. But unfortunately the shield play with the Symmetra ult does cause some few problems there. And both sides are just keeping on the fight. Hota is being the shining force in this fight right now with the 2 kills already. And they just holding on. And the point is right now being contested quite a bit. There is the Sigma and the Moira there. The Moira goes down. NKZ is solo there. But unfortunately, Twig comes in. Twig's trying to save what he can. XHM switches over to the Doomfist. They do take down the Wrecking Ball. They claim the point shortly before the time runs up, so they get a bit of plus time, but they need to find a way to push the payload faster this time.
It took them so much time, but if they're able to take the second point without any stops, without any pauses in the payload moving, then they probably will be even on the time at the start of the 3rd point.
Definitely, that would be an option.
Still, no ultimates. Only one Coalescence on Lucer, and that's it.
and that is already out the window because they're instantly using that one out. They did get quite an advantage out of that one, and that's kind of the thing I've been watching the whole time, that as soon as Loser has the Coalescence, they use that as their kind of go switch to just instantly push forward.
It's not the worst decision. You have to open up the fight with something, and if the Coalescence is the only tool you have, well, it's better than entering the fight empty-handed.
Definitely, and they're pushing quite far forward, so the payload's almost been moving the whole time without any interruption. Now the Coalescence is used on the side of Vox Nihili. They do get a pick off on Sycamores, and Zardu switched over to the Pharah and gets a pick off there as well, and this should halt the push for quite a bit right now. And now there has to go back to the drawing board for 4th Dimension.
Well, XHM, 82% of the Blizzard right now, but Sycamore not switching the Reaper to counter the Pharah. Zardu already had the barrage. We see a McCree getting picked here, but certainly won't be able to deny the barrage here. At least some of that sweet damage will come through, and this might be enough for it to be a hold for Vox Nihili.
The Dragon Strike went through. Unfortunately, it didn't hit anybody for the side of Vox Nihili. They're going in right now. The Graviton Field, the Rocket Barrage gets 4, and I think that is the way to stun the hopes and dreams of 4th Dimension to take this tournament 2-0 in the Grand Finals.
Yeah. 2-0. Not bad. Wait, is it a
It's
draw?
going 1-1. We're going to 1-1.
Yeah.
We have a third map.
They're even in the score.
Yeah, it would have been a clean sweep if they had the chance, but right now they're going on. I said it probably a bit too complicated to make it sound, unfortunately, but right now the fight is still going on, and looks like they aren't giving up 4th Dimension. They're getting a push in here right now. Admiral After does get the rest of NKZ, but they are creating a push that I didn't think was possible, proving me quite wrong. Right now they do take down the Superchargers. The fight is getting close here. Hota takes down I Have Lethal, so the Coalescence comes out right now. Let's see if that can actually turn the tides right now on the side of Vox Nihili, because this fight is barely holding on. Jerry gets knocked off the point, and they barely touch the point once again. The sound barrier has been popped there. They're going in for another fight. Sycamore switch over to the Tracer, trying to do as much damage as they can. The Pharah is still causing as much chaos as they can. The Coalescence goes for the Pharah, actually, just aiming that up into the sky. And right now they're just pushing forward. NKZ is trying to hold on. Do they really get this point? Barely. Twink is trying to hold on, but can't really do much about it. And he's still trying his best. He's trying to delay, but he gets taken down. And 4th Dimension claimed the 2nd point, so we go to the 3rd one even.
Yeah, talk about evening out the score. The teams seem to be set on thwarting everything we say here, as they are actually able to clutch this one out. XHM switches from Doomfist back to Mei, and Hota taking a Diva. An interesting solution here, but solution to what problem? Are they
Maybe
trying
the Pharah
to counter the Pharah right now?
Oh, okay. Sycamore does it with the Hanzo there, so that's actually a way. But now they're getting into the back, so they can find actually more flank. But Hota loses the mech there. The Baby Diva does a good amount of damage, and the Baby Diva tries to win that fight. Unfortunately, can't do it. They do knock Twig off there, and right now, Nat is trying to hold on to the point, but that's not what you want to do. And the ult charge is in an interesting situation right now, to be honest.
Yeah, Zardu has the barrage, but Hota has the Diva, so he might be able to counter that barrage before Zardu even considers using it. But not much to work with on the side of 4th Dimension there.
Graviton Field, unfortunately, was thwarted once again. The Supercharge is being popped on the side of 4th Dimension. The Coalescence is going out. It goes down. NKZ takes down XHM. Raptor has to res up Twig. They're moving the payload into the position. Zardu gets a pick on Jeru, so there is a tank missing. The Justice goes out, unfortunately. Does get one pick off there, and it looks like they're barely holding on, but I'm not sure about that yet. And now we know that we're going to a 3rd map.
Yeah, well, still, what an impressive clutch there from 4th Dimension.
That was amazing. I counted them out and they were like, nope, we're going back and we want this point.
Yeah, 2 more minutes of Blizzard World.
Yeah, and then we get the... That was a good play there from Alenvil. Pulled out a nice death pulse and got a few kills off there. And we will head to our third map, which will be Busan, actually. So, who do you favor out of both teams as we go to Busan?
On Busan, I think I like Fourth Dimension a little bit more, because XHM seems to utilize his walls in a more offensive manner, less as a backup shield for the tanks, and offensive walls is what you need on Busan, especially on mecha base, where Mei is the hero to pick. If you play mecha base without a Mei, then something is completely wrong with you.
Yeah. And so we will be moving into Busan. Let's see where we start off, because I think that could give us the pace how this matchup will go, actually.
It is mecha base.
Okay, so this could actually become quite interesting, because I feel like the team who wins the first map will have the distinct advantage to really have the second one where they will put their foot down to try to end it, but they aren't like, we are dead if we don't win that one.
Yeah, but it also might provide a psychological boost to the losing team. Like, they've got their backs against the wall and they have to win this one.
Yeah, but both teams have been showing that they are quite viable with their backs against the wall in this matchup already. I mean, Fourth Dimension has been showing it a bit more, to be honest, with that clutch. And even though it didn't work out, it was kind of a moment where we all thought, okay, this looks like they want it so badly that they don't care about anything.
Well, we already see I have Lethal picking a Symmetra again, which might not be a bad choice if they are able to win the first fight, because Symmetra, when she has the control over the battlefield, is a completely different hero from Symmetra, who just arrived and has to set up.
Yeah, and the teleporter, they use it quite offensively to actually move forward there. They meet up on top. Nice ult there. The stone unfortunately doesn't hit as they wanted it to, but they're trying their best to move in. Their Fourth Dimension is just going so ham on them right now, just closing in every situation they can. XHM with 2 kills already, and they're going for more. Nobody gets to leave this fight, and they just take down almost everybody. Only the Orisa flees through that teleporter.
And Kizzy trying to ninja snatch the point there, but gets denied quickly. And just what I've been talking about, XHM, perfect utilization of those walls, trapping off everyone, cutting the team in half.
Nice teleport play. Once again, they move in, try to play the aggressive side that Fourth Dimension loves to play. There is a freeze there. The Coalescence goes in. They do get a pick off on that one on Eye of Lethal, so they don't have a teleport anymore for that fight. But nobody really gets close to the point, and the fight is still breaking out. The Blizzard gets thrown out. Unfortunately for the Fourth Dimension, just backs off towards the point. They do get a kill on XHM doing that, but unfortunately the fight is still breaking out on both sides, and it looks like right now, Fox and Hili throw even the Mortality Field. I'm not sure about that one there, but if they feel secure with that one, nice wall to close it off, and they're still going on to the point. First Dimension don't want to give any second of this point off, but they now have to and reach about 50%? No, even more! Whoa, that's stall!
Besting there.
55, 65, 56, wow.
Yeah,
almost 60%.
4% for his team. That's a brilliant play there. But they still need to take this point back. Otherwise, those 9% are, well, for nothing, basically. They've got the ultimates to make this work. Zardu probably should be hiding somewhere, trying to set up a good wall, but he's nowhere to be seen.
No, and we see Fourth Dimension just going ham, straight up towards the point. And oh, there is the graviton field. They get thrown up. The metro wall is kind of a saving grace for them right now. A few are frozen in there. Unfortunately, the coalescence does go through that as well as the blizzard, and looks like this could be Fourth Dimension reclaiming the point. And they will do exactly that.
Yeah, 60 to 40. No ultimates to work with. Well, no, actually, they do have Twig's supercharger, but that might not be enough to open up the fight. I have little switching for Doomfist here.
Oh, the Death Blossom gets popped for Sycamore in that close combat, and there is 2 victims for that one. And Twig is just backing off, trying to find the safety, but that is not what Sycamore wants to have happen. And we're at 85% already, so this is going to get really close now.
Yeah, well, I Have Lethal is alive. He actually managed to get out of the last fight alive, and he might be able to touch the point here to start the contest, but
Zardu's instantly out. I Have Lethal is now dead as well. We're at 99% already. The Coalescence been popped. The Supercharger is there as an answer for both sides. The Amp Matrix is even out of there, but unfortunately they can't do much with that one since they do have to move towards the point. Trick is trying to hold on to the point as good as he can, but unfortunately goes down. We see Atma Raptor sitting up top, getting pulled down to the point, taken out. Now we have 2 left. Sycamore does hit the Death Blossom. I Have Lethal falls for that one. And they're still holding on that, just trying to do the best he can, but the fuse goes out, and that is the claim for the first point for Fourth Dimension. They are 1 point away from winning this tournament.
Indeed, and we just have to see what the next map will be, because on downtown, I feel like not downtown. It's not downtown, and well, right now I feel contrary to what I've just felt, and I feel that Fourth Dimension might be able to snatch a 2-0 win here on Busan.
Oh, we'll have to see. So now Vox and hili have the backs against the wall. They have to do what they can. There's nothing left you can hide in your playbook. You have to use everything now.
And that they are doing. They've got a Fire there on Zardu. They've still got a Doomfist here on I Have Lethal. Sycamore is taking a Widowmaker. So, yeah. The teams are using everything they have here.
That is what I would expect, and I'm happy that they're doing that. And we see them. Oh, I Have Lethal gets the first pick off there. This could actually be quite advantageous if they can hold up. Unfortunately, the tanks are getting quite pressured, but Zardu gets an answer there. And this is the opening win for Vox and hili right now. Yes, it is.
Yeah, no one there alive for Fourth Dimension. Switching up to Moira. Nothing to counter the Doomfist though. I Have Lethal will have free reign over the backline. No. Sycamore taking a McCree, and this might be the answer to all of Fourth Dimension's problems here.
It could be the answer. I feel like Sycamore can do quite a bit with the McCree, but we haven't seen much of the McCree reigning supreme with Sycamore right now. It was more other picks, but Zardu is now at the rocket barrage, so they have to be aware of that one. But Jaru gets pressured quite a bit in the back. NKZ gets Jaru's pick there, so this is not the situation you really want to be in as Fourth Dimension. And the Doomfist is still kind of running wild against them right now, and it doesn't really seem that they have the answer that we have expected for that.
Well, I wouldn't call it running wild. He has to hide. He doesn't pressure the backline. Just the presence of that McCree already limits Doomfist's capabilities, and that is what Fourth Generation we're trying to achieve when picking McCree. Also, you see a Pharah Mercy counter pick, so an aerial duel here for Zardu and XHM. Zardu already getting the rocket.
Yeah, they're going in with that fight, and XHM just wins that fight out straight up. They do have even the rocket barrage still up on Zardu, but they still... Hota is unfortunately now dead as well, and now they're just throwing out ults right now on the side of Vox and hili. They did use almost every one of them. The superchargers even there. Now they even use the nano boost. They've thrown everything out. They want to keep this point at every cost, and right now it's working for them.
Yeah, and Jera probably won't be able to touch the point and contest. Probably a little bit too late for it, and they're evening out the score.
And we have, unfortunately, a slight disconnect right now, so I think this will be hopefully resolved soon. But right now, I would say this could get really interesting. We have your mentioned downtown. Now you can actually focus on your point for downtown, since they didn't want to give you that one for that run.
Yeah, well, I expected Zardo to pick the Pharah if it were downtown, because downtown is pretty open, has a lot of space for Pharah, and also those two skyscrapers where Widowmakers like to duel each other on. Also serves as a good place for Pharah to just escape to, hide, and heal on. But picking a Pharah here on Shrine Temple, what do they call it?
I think it's Shrine? Temple? I think Temple, because we have a Shrine already in the game.
Yeah. You're probably right. Well, I didn't expect that. I certainly didn't expect the Doomfist to be that effective.
Yeah, it was kind of surprising. Unfortunately, as I said, Sycamore hasn't shown a bad McCree. It just hasn't felt for me during the matches we've seen from him that the McCree was really one of the anchors for the team to really move it forward.
Yeah, well, right now he's not the hero to make the heroic plays, but he's that solid pick that you have to sometimes go to, but it's not OP, he's not bad, he just is. There are no words to actually describe him.
Yeah. It's just not what the team needs in that moment to actually push themselves forward. He does a decent job, but it's just not like some other things we've seen from Sycamore, for example, as Reaper, that were kind of highlight worthy.
It's not game changing.
Yeah, exactly.
What we're talking about here. So, still a McCree, still two Pharahs. Not a Pharah from Zawardu. So this could be really interesting here, and I favor fourth. No, still switches to Pharah. No Mercy though.
Yeah, the Mercy, that's kind of what. So they're okay. Both sides now have a pharmacy, so they're going with that. Both shields just throw it out. We see both sides kind of moving forward. Not. Oh, I have lethal instantly opens up on Loser, puts the Moira into a wall, and now it's just field day, as you can see, for Buxney Healy, and they claim the chance to take the point.
Now XHM trying to make some refrags, trying to farm some ultimate charge here. Already 50% ahead of Zawardu, but the aerial dominance is not the map dominance, and when the ground forces fail, well, what's the point of your aerial dominance?
Yeah, that is kind of an issue they're having right now, but I have Lethal had such a great opener for that fight, just instantly taking out the Moira there, and I don't think that was really expected. XHM finally takes down the Doomfist, so this could be their opening, and they're pushing quite forward. Oh, XHM goes down, so they don't have that ult right now. They don't get the res off actually, but they get the answer kills now on the ground, and they lose the air dominance and win on the ground. This is kind of a weird fight right now.
Yeah, I have Lethal re-engages, but won't be able to stall for long. 45% here for Vox Neely, and they're not in a bad position. They don't have many ultimates, but they're fairly close. All of them are way above 50%. And one dry push just to farm those ultimates, and they'll have 6 ults, and they'll win the point from that.
Definitely, but they don't believe in dry pushes since they pull out the Coalescence instantly. XHM gets a pick off there. There is now the time for the Deadeye, just the Rocket Parish in the back, and Sycamore, I kind of feel bad for him just to sit there with the Deadeye and not getting anything to hit.
So much commitment though. So many ultimates, both Barrage and High Noon and the Coalescence. Why? Why so many? They've exchanged it for a Valkyrie and that's it.
Because looks like they're confident in taking those ults out in the taking the enemies out in the normal way, as we've seen right now. How XMF won again, and now the ground fight breaks out once again. The meteor strike comes in, does instantly take down that one. The rocket barrage goes through. The rocket barrage doesn't do much. XMF actually wins that fight thanks to just the positioning. Hota gets another pick off. The fight is evening out quite a bit right now. The supercharger goes through, and the shield saves that one, but unfortunately that is not a chance to claim it. We're at 75% right now for 4th Dimension.
Yeah, Sourdough switches to McCree in a last effort to maybe try and counter XHM, who has been clearly winning duels against him, but right now, 4th Dimension need to at least, not the 4th Dimension, but Vox need to at least touch the point, or they're risking to just C9 the whole thing.
Yeah, Deadeye didn't work really out. We're at 99%. Now the fight's gonna break out. XHM gets rest up. Sycamore gets an answer. There is the rocket barrage. They get a kill off. There's one last survivor on the point. They need to hold on. He can't really stay on the point now. The Reaper jumps on, gets stunned up instantly. Just hits with the flashbang and is out of that one. The Lucio's trying his best to hold on. The fuse is running out. Will there be a claim? And no. Congratulations, 4th Dimension win this tournament.
Still, what a close game. What a close game. Incredible Overwatch today.
Yeah, both teams just did such a good game that this felt really good as a grand final. We saw both teams just keep moving back and forth. No, there was not really a position where I thought for a moment at Blizzard that they didn't have a good chance, but then 4th Dimension said we're gonna go to the 3rd point. But respect.
Though, but came back. They came back, and well, that's what counts.
Yeah. So, any MVP or something you want to point out from both teams?
Oh, this is a hard one, but for the last map, definitely XHM. That Farah did 95% of the 4th Dimension's victory there.
Yeah, I agree that XHM deserves the MVP for that one. And with that, we're going to say goodbye. Do you want to plug anything for a moment, VK, or then we'll close off?
Nah, I'll pass. Just close it off.
Okay, then goodbye, good night, and see you guys next time.